Hey guys, just want to go through with you guys on this typical 2V headed Cleveland combination that would have been around everywhere back in the days. Just your iron headed 2V Cleveland heads, close chamber heads in this instance. They came out of our own very own Aussie 302 Clevelands, and also grabbing the 6-inch standard rods that came out of those 302 Clevelands, which, was a foundation for a good combination bottom end to be used. So you can, have an OEM 6-inch rod to be used with your 351 Cleveland build. They all carry the same journal size and stuff like that, so there was no issue there. And you can take a look here. And what I find interesting here, this is actually 2005, but what I find interesting with this combination here is that it made a proven 520 flywheel horsepower on the dyno. And then once it was in the car and that, they've taken it to the rollers and it spat out 360 rear wheel horsepower as well. And I find that interesting because, with my very own 4V combination that I did many years prior to this thing, it spat out very similar figures in the wheels over the years of owning it and mucking around with carbs and tunes and that. And, there was times where, I've rocked up to the rollers and it spat out, 348 rear wheel horsepower, 360, 360 something horsepower as well. And then I never quite dynoed it when it was fully sorted out, with that 750 carburetor stuff that made it, get up and boogie. But, my guess is it would have been around there 370, 380 horsepower. So it just goes to show what type of flywheel horsepower that I probably had with that 4V 357 cubic inch Cleveland deal that I ran tens with. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, back to this 2V combination you see here. That was done back in 2005, and it was done by these group of brothers, the Kulbanis brothers, that weren't too far from me actually. And for you guys that have followed me real early and that have listened in on me talking about my early day 2V headed combinations that I've played with before I moved on to the 4V stuff. And this is talking, we're talking about the mid-90s here now. And I just remember the Kulbanis brothers brought out this XD Falcon full streeter, which was the same Falcon that we had my 2V combination in also. I just remember these guys coming out, and not that it was a competition or anything like that, but I just remember it was basically the two of us that I knew of at the time that were running stout ETs, and they sort of beat us. They beat us to the crunch, as far as breaking into the 11s. You can see here from this article, they break into the 11.9s, and we were sort of stuck on the 12.0s. But us being top loader, obviously a little trickier to get out of the whole shot being manual, and these guys running a converter car, automatic. And you can just see there from the trap speeds, they were at only 112 mile per hour, surprisingly, where we were sort of up there like 115 to 117 miles per hour with our top loader 2V headed thing. And, both of us being, standard stroke, but you can see there, these guys are running a way bigger cam than the combination that I've had. And, you guys remember in the last couple of videos I mentioned I was running the Cam Dynamics grind cam, very similar to the Crane F246 thing, with the matching Isky 8005 valve springs to that cam. And these guys here running a way bigger cam, but everything else pretty much, was the same as far as compression, the stroke and all that stuff. Same intake manifolds. I was running a 2V Y-end accelerator, and so were these guys. But yeah, they built some pretty cool cars around that time, you know, some decent combinations, you know, small block Ford stuff in Cleveland, you know, 2V stuff and stuff like that. So I just wanted to share with you guys there that, you know, we did okay with our mid-90s 2V combination that you can see here. And, you know, basically probably would have been close to a, you know, 450 flywheel horsepower deal, I would say, you know, 430 to 450 flywheel horsepower. We did pull out, what was it, 340 plus rear wheel horsepower out of our 2V combination, but that's been manual. I mean, obviously, you put a C4 behind their converter, that'll probably bring things to about 300, 310 rear wheel horsepower. Not bad for the mid-90s, I'd say.